I must know, have you been quietly cultivating something behind the surface? The message that's coming forth for you is you're about to receive. Okay, I'm hearing the word reap. So this is about seeds that you've been sowing, intentions that you've been sowing, and that you've been nurturing and growing behind the scenes. That's making some type of public harvest. What the heck? What the heck? That's so interesting because the first message we have is actually about the throat chakra. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first message from the Starseed Oracles. It says, share your voice. Come out of the cave, persecution and expression. This gives me a possible parallel past life energy where you had spoken your truth and it had led to some type of exile. I'm kind of seeing Aquarius in the third house type of energy. That could be significant, or maybe Uranus type of energy conjunct the South Node. But it definitely gives me some type of subconscious fear or pain. Okay, it feels like a subconscious pain that you've had that you're actually carrying forward from these parallel streams, these parallel lives. And the message that was coming through was these parallel lives, these parallel streams, and a subconscious pain. And your deepest pain will tell you about what it is that you've been carrying from lifetime to lifetime. And there's something that's being alchemized, something that's being transmuted through you. And this isn't just you, it's all those who have come before you. It's the one body of consciousness that is your ancestral lineage. And you're showing up for yourself in this lifetime in a way that you were never able to previously, or parallel. The reason I say parallel is because everything's happening simultaneously. However, it's almost like there's something happening where you're showing up for all past versions of yourself. And it feels like attending to the inner child. Okay, we also had an energy fall. So something has fallen in order to rise again. Okay, so come out of the cave, persecution, right? We have the pyramids there and it feels like a restoration that's happening with the land, but within yourself. There's something being restored, and maybe you actually stepping into your power. Now, I also want to tell you that your voice is incredibly healing. Whatever it is that you have to say, you might have Chiron in Gemini, or maybe the third house, or some type of wound around communication. I'm hearing the art of communication. And the reason I'm saying art is because it feels like you are a poet naturally with your words, or the way that you articulate things. You have the power, potential to shift, persuade, and subtly, what's the word that's coming through? Introduce those souls, the souls around you, to alternate ways of viewing their life on earth or their current conditions. I'm hearing the art of persuasion. There's something healing about that, and it could be an alter in frequency, because your next message is deep cellular healing. So whatever it is that you say, whatever message you have to share, even if that's a message of something that you're creating, right? Something that you're kind of using your mind to intellectually process when we talk about mercurial energy, but it feels like higher dimensional information, but I was about to say the word invitation. So it feels like a higher dimensional invitation where you're inviting those around you into higher, which is higher dimensions within themselves, which is meeting themselves deeper. There's a paradox where you have to go deeper into yourself, altered states of consciousness, or deeper brainwave states in order to reach higher dimensional octaves of yourself and the information that's awaiting for you within those dimensional corresponding planes. So deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. So there's something that you may do. It definitely gives me a hypnosis vibe. It does give me someone that is hypnotic, maybe without realizing it. There's something that you, and when we talk about hypnotherapy or hypnosis, you'll never really, it feels like, there's something around those who are ready. You're drawing on resonant souls and experiences that are going to resonate with you, or something that you're creating deeply. This feels like for a creator of some kind. But there's another message around people are only going to meet you as far as they've met themselves. But it feels like there's a next level of depth that you've recently met yourself at, that is going to lead to you helping those around you meet themselves even deeper. That, I don't know how to explain this, but it just feels like a new dimensional playing field that's opening up for you. Okay, anyway, we also had karmic board clearing. Oh, let me show you this one first. Let me show you this one. So we had Sacred Garden. That's the one that fell. Now, Sacred Garden in this deck is from this beautiful woman called 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓪, and she is known as basically going through this continuous cycle. So I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. Externally, we are in a continuous cycle of planting, weeding, and harvesting. Internally, we are also planting gardens, the seeds being our thoughts and the harvest being our words and actions. Make each step of the cycle a conscious act filled with intention, and you will reap a garden of delights. It feels like you're about to, you know when they say you'll reap what it is that you've sown? It feels like you're about to go through this reaping season of seeds that you had sown in the past. Some type of action that you had taken had sent ripples through space and time, and it's gonna lead to someone or something intersecting with whatever it is that you've been doing. I'm just seeing like a catch up. The momentum that you've been sending out is now taking on a life of its own. It's forming this whole new waves of experiences for you. Yeah. I'm seeing you literally riding a wave into a new ecosystem full of people, opportunities that all are vibrational match to this octave of yourself. So the reverse meaning is maybe you guys have cleared any kind of thoughts that have been weeds, right? Things that have been draining you, any kind of thoughts that have not been highly conducive or productive to your human experience. So this is gaining clarity of the mind, body, and spirit because it's extremely valuable. Now that's what 𝓤𝓪𝓬 talks about. And then you have karmic board clearing. So this feels like interdimensional, generational thought forms that have been reinforced, right? Thoughts and emotions that have been reinforced generationally. And that leads to very specific crystallized blockages within the field, crystallized thought forms that have actually created and molded these belief systems that you inherit. And it feels like you're breaking free from that mold. You've been able to alchemize these crystallized debris in your field simply because you're changing your relationship to that. It's almost like you're understanding the origin point of, oh, that's what made me feel this way. That's the event that had transpired in my past life or my parallel life, and I'm seeing that kind of bleed into your early upbringing because it's your most closest resonant match, where maybe you were told to be the one that was seen and not heard. You know, it kind of does remind me of that energy where there was some type of belief system that you carried forth from some type of pain, again, some kind of subconscious pain, which has told you about where it is that you had withheld your love. And to love is to accept and embrace all aspects of self. And there's some type of dimensional octave within you that feels like it has been suppressed because it has not felt safe to come out. And it's almost like you are realizing that fear is asking to be safe, that fear for octave within you, that fearful voice has been asking to be held. So there's something around the grace in which you've given yourself through this process, because I don't feel like it was necessarily easy for you by any means. This is someone that's done like a lot of internal work to even get to this place. Let me find this card for you, karmic board clearing, so I can read it. Right, karmic board clearing. If you're being overwhelmed by traumatic memories or a painful event, know that this is old energy that's no longer serving you. So there's some type of karmic board clearing that you've done. Now, when we talk about karmic board clearing and cutting cords, all you're doing is changing the vibrational resonance to those cords. And that really happens through not just unconditional acceptance, right, which is unconditional love, but also minimizing those cords and changing the frequency to those cords back to zero. What has been is not all that has to be, and it's not all that will be if you decide different. And this feels like with the karmic board clearing, it reminds you of a 10 and a 1, right? Like the 10 and the ace in the tarot, which is about completion leading to some type of new beginning and some type of reset happening in your life, where you could be writing a new story for what your life looks like as this version of yourself that you're now embodying. And the 10 going down to a 0. It's restoring your infinite potential in some way, and how that's expressed freely in this realm without creating from a wounded place of how you be perceived. You're just creating for creation's sake, you know? Yeah, there was another message. I don't know if it's coming back around. Anyway, karmic ball clearing. You're neutralizing the cords back to 0, back to neutral. So the things that were holding you back previously no longer are. Okay. So this is old energy that's no longer serving you. Spirit is being called to be released. This is also calling you to a time where you're ready to surrender your old ways and old stories. Know that receiving this message means that energetic self has been taken to the karmic board, clearing during sleep or meditation. And all fears, phobias, and challenges with partners and relationships, or feelings of being misunderstood are released now. You are ready to move forward. Again, this definitely gives me a strong energy of where you had previously felt misunderstood. And this could be whether that's in this lifetime or the next. There's just something that's being cleared for you on earth. Okay, there's something that's being cleared for you on earth. Now, this is also bleeding into your other star seed lineages and how that's expressing itself freely through you as a vessel or conduit for this higher knowledge. Okay, that's what I'm seeing as well. Okay. Now we also have the protector. So the protector feels like, again, protection is necessary until it eventually becomes permission. There's almost permission being granted in your field. Maybe permission granted to finally be seen. Permission granted to finally expand beyond some type of known terrain. So perspective and flowing creativity. A molten figure emerges from a magma and pounces towards the snowy fields. Keen perception gives the protector an upper hand in a dawn, arriving at the scene ahead of their foe's expectation. The protector has an inner need to guard their territory and those around them. They can predict outcomes of events before they have even begun. When you pull the protector in a reading, it can be symbolic of an excellent time to take a deeper plunge into your creativity. There is a guarding energy around the project you're taking on. Something bigger than you know that it's important to see things through. Allow it to radiate through you and see this as a beneficial time for new ideas to emerge. Trust your intuition to guide you through the state of heightened creativity. This is what I mean. There's something that you've been working on, or something that you've been doing behind the scenes, and it's leading to some type of harvestation. Because with the King of Wands, he is kind of the overseer of the garden itself. He's the overseer of your internal, I want to say like infrastructure. So it's kind of like what builds you to be you, with those belief systems that kind of just distort the way that you see yourself as a natural creator in this existence. And then you also have the 9 of Wands, the 9 of Embers. So imagine the King of Wands reaching the step before the finish line. And with the molten lava and the volcano, it feels like something that has been repressed or suppressed through generations is finally being unleashed through you. This feels like the unlocking of some type of ancestral power or wisdom. I'm going to go ahead and pull actually a Cosmos Oracle message and see what comes through for you. Let's get one of these. Right, we have parallel universes. This has been coming out back to back to back. So parallel universes is essentially you waking up within one construct, and then there's this interconnected network, almost like an etheric webbing. And I'm just seeing a signal being sent out where you're retrieving archived information and anchoring that into your third dimensional experience, and you're acting upon some type of future knowledge or some kind of future wisdom of what already exists and is available for you to experience in the ocean of outcomes that is the quantum field. And I just see you being really, really aware around how your choices are something that will determine the journey in which you will witness your life unfold into or towards when it comes to a very particular outcome or destination. I'm also seeing the words destiny for yourself. And part of your destiny is not just the things that you create when it comes to your legacy, but it's the imprint that you leave upon this earth. I'm seeing the impression, almost like Mama Kia, if you guys remember from the Peruvian journeys, how she came down and descended from the earth. and then she had pressed herself up against, you know, like this bedrock, if you will, and because of that she was depicted as a very potent energetic signature, and it was the feminine impression. So it feels like the way that the soul wants to express itself through form being very impressionable, almost like your legacy is in how you touch people or how you impact those around you, especially utilizing some kind of healing modality. Yeah, and it's because you know why the healing's taking place and why it's so healing, not just to see you or witness you do this thing and be in your element with this, because you hadn't got to before, not in a way that you're being invited to do now, and it's safe to do so. Oh, it also feels like it's super healing because you've become whole with yourself. You've become whole with a repressed or suppressed aspect of self. You're no longer fragmenting or fractalizing these aspects of self, because fractalization can be traumatic until you come into that reunification, and it's like almost like you're remembering yourself, where you're remembering all these different members of the self, right? It's this reunification with those like Syrian energy, and it's leading to you becoming whole once again. Yeah, this is so beautiful. And I feel like you're whole in whatever it is that you do, but it's so healing. You coming out of the cave. It's like there is color at the end of it, you know? I don't know, there's something super sacred about this journey back to yourself. It feels very, very sacred. I feel like it's taken you a lot to even get to this point. Yeah. Let's see. Let's also get another message. Should we get a... Sure, why not? Why not? Let's grab another one of these. Magic of the Gathering. Since I feel like we're gathering right now at the cycle table. Web of Dream. Web of Dream. This is a very interesting card as well. You can see they're sewing or knitting more like with the cobwebs. Now, cobwebs and spiders in the metaphysical realm can represent a few things. It can talk about where you've been entangled, and what has been kind of holding you back. And it feels like you're breaking free from some type of web. And I'm seeing it as like this interconnected web towards corresponding planes of consciousness that you know are just not conducive to stay in anymore, right? And when I talk about that, I'm talking about just thoughts that are not going to serve you moving forward, thoughts that had served a purpose and protected you, and you seeing life on Earth through the lens of survival. Kind of reminds you of the Ghost Eye movie. I don't remember what it's called. If anyone remembers, let me know. I believe it was a movie with Jessica Alba. Sorry, let me get comfortable, guys. I'm sitting on like a pillow on the floor. So I don't know if you guys have seen the movie with Jessica Alba, and I watched it some years ago, and I think it was she had a organ replacement or transplant, right? And anyway, she got these eyes, these new pair of eyes, and they belong to someone else who I believe could see interdimensional realms. They had the ability to see, you know, disembodied souls or ghosts and a completely different dimensional layer of this reality. And that's what I was seeing. It's almost like you were seeing life on Earth through the lens of a past version of self, or, you know, a parallel version of self. And there's something that you've healed or integrated there, where you're no longer seeing life through the lens of survival, but instead through the lens of thriving in this system. Okay, so and seeing how it is designed for you to thrive, because there's a part of you that's untouched by time and unaffected by the events that have transpired along your space-time travels that you've embarked on. So, Web of Dreams. The grand drama of life is everywhere, waiting to snare us into its tangled web. Is it possible to not be in the drama and not be affected by it? To have compassion and to not lose your emotional balance takes vigilance. If you're ensnared in the drama of others or your own drama, cut yourself free and get back to balance. You can't help a person in a pit by jumping in with them. So this talks about a monstrous spider that 𝓪𝓭𝓪 was dryad who was tricked by Phoenix and turned into a monstrous spider. So again, it just gives me not allowing, okay, you to basically organize your life around fear instead of your mission. It just feels like this is somebody who's now organizing their life around their mission and their intention. And okay, there's quite a few things that are coming through. You're organizing your life now around your mission instead of your fear. And that's going to lead to not just your life looking very different, but also you looking very different to those around you. And you're slowly reinforcing new ways of being. You're disrupting your comfort zone again and again. And what's beautiful about this, but also confusing at the same time, because you're birthing a new self into being. You're practicing ways of being that are unfamiliar to you. And you're adjusting to some type of new normal in your life. It almost feels like someone that's in between identities. And there's another stream that was coming through, and let me see if I can get it back with the people. What is this about the people? Yeah, so all external factors were essentially external networks leading you back towards your own internal networks, which was your etheric origins and your intentions before incarnation. And the message I was getting was those around you are never really in your way. There's nothing outside of you that's ever in your way. It's where you're getting in your own way, because it's not even you versus you or like you versus me. It's you working with other versions of yourself. And what you're seeing from those around you are an invitation, not intimidation, not manipulation. It's an invitation to do something in this life that you never had to before. It's not even about prove them wrong for some of you. It's about prove yourself right. There's something that you're proving to yourself. And it's not personal, it's vibrational. It's about what feels vibrationally aligned with you. I wonder what that is. And you have trust your heart at the base. So there's something that your heart's guiding you towards. It is showing you the way. You have know yourself beneath that. So know yourself, know your heart. Know what it is. And, you know, this deck is almost like conjuring something up. So know what it is that you want to conjure up in your experience. To conjure is to create. And I'm seeing not limiting your creative capacities. I'm also seeing your capacity is expanding, like the bandwidth or expand. I'm just seeing expansion. You're ready to hold more. You're ready to receive more. You weren't ready to receive when you were in this contracted state, but because you're open, I'm seeing something beautiful come into your field. You're more expanded now. You have more room to receive. That's what I'm seeing. There's just something about receiving, and it feels like receiving the harvest. It feels like the moon made an energy, because we were speaking about Mama Kia, where what it is that she worked on behind the scenes, those skills, those gifts that you've been quietly cultivating behind the scenes is now ready for the limelight. It's time to come forward and emerge in a full splendor. What it is that you were working on behind the scenes was necessary to be private previously, because it was keeping something that was precious and close to your heart protected. But with the protector, a king is a king because he embodies something and he displays something, and his mission is on display for the world to see. He doesn't even announce it or introduce it. Something is going to be experienced through something that you do, or the version of self that you're becoming. And that example, that mirrored reflection of what honoring mission looks like, is going to not only keep you grounded and anchored towards this thing, or draw this thing towards you, but it's incredibly healing. I'm just seeing your aura. becoming more expanded. It's going to be incredibly healing. Yeah, and we literally have the expansion page up here too. Yeah, I'm gonna love any of you guys right there. I think that's all we're gonna talk about today. Yeah, this was a free flow session, I guess. I trust that it's exactly what it is that you need to hear at this stage of your evolution. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing because we'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. And yeah, if you're not, also check out Outer Spirit if you're looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. You have 2 discount codes for that in the description box, and I'll speak to you very soon. I'm very curious to see in the comment section. Guys, let me know. What is this for you? If you feel called to share at this stage. What was holding you back? And what are you alchemizing? What pain are you transmuting into your superpower? Let me know. Until next time. Bye.